Hey, Remarkable Lifers, this is Craig.
And this is KJ.
And this is Gringos R US.
Hola.
Can you believe it? We are sitting here with Gringos R US. We met them and we're like, oh my gosh, you're real.
They do exist.
I might have fanboyed a little.
Oh, no.
Well, I mean, you know, in San Miguel de Allende, finding gringos, what a shock.
True that.
It's the first Gringos I've run into. No. But so we are here in San Miguel de Allende with a little meetup. We've got some surprises coming up for you guys. It's kind of exciting. So, KJ, what do you think?
I think it's awesome. I mean, this is a really cool thing. We met a lot of people last night that, you know, we've seen on the screen but haven't met in person before. And I know Gina and I have talked on email a little bit over the years and everything. But I think something that's really, really cool is we're going to do kind of a short little thing here to introduce all of our subscribers and everything to Gringos R US in case you don't know who they are.
I don't know how you,
and then,
where have you been if you don't know
right?
who
If you don't know who
Gringos
they
R
are,
US
right. And then later in the year, we're going to do big collaborative stuff. So that's going to be really, really cool and fun. But in the meantime, what I think our viewers would love to hear is, tell me a little bit about your story. Like, when did y'all start your journey when did you decide to come to Mexico, and what did that beginning of that journey look like?
I was watching videos on YouTube, and I was running into videos like people like Tangerine Travels, among many, you know.
Q RuPaul,
retired in Huatuco. And
Why Not Now?
Yeah, so I was watching them, and he was addicted to TV 24/7, and he's watching whatever he's watching, whether it's reruns, sports, whatever, news, news. And I'm watching these videos thinking he's not listening. And I'm like, wow, look at these people's budget. Look at how they're doing this. I can't believe it. And I'm thinking in my mind, our 401k sucks. We barely have enough to get by. What's going to happen when we retire? He's close to retirement. I'm not. What are we going to do? And then in the meantime, I'm just fed up with my job. I'm fed up with people. I'm fed up with politics. I'm fed up with news. I'm fed up with divisiveness. And I'm like, we need to get out of here. Let's start looking at other places. I'm looking at Portugal. I'm looking at Malta. I'm looking at Mexico. What about Costa Rica? I mean, I don't know. I don't think he's listening. And then one day, we are at a block party. Take it, baby.
We have a next door neighbor, Carlos, who is from Monterrey, and his company is multinational, and he was transferred up to the Asheville market. And so he and I are having this discussion about Mexico and everything. And yeah, I come from Monterrey. My family's all up there. I got family coming up here. And I said, well, we're retiring to Mexico.
What?
And she was just like,
what? What?
This is news.
I didn't think he was on board. Because like a lot of people in the United States, we have been fed all kinds of stories about how horribly dangerous Mexico is. And he was on that cycle, because I was going to music festivals and he would tell me, don't leave the resort. Don't do excursions. You know, stay safe in the resort. But then we started vacationing together, because I'm like, it's not what you think.
Right.
Let's go visit places. And so he had come around and realized that you can't believe all that stuff, all that propaganda.
We got lucky. Yeah. We got lucky and had a day tour that Gina had set up with an expatriated person from California who owned a business in Quintana Roo, and she couldn't make it, and so she sent her assistant Miguel, and he's a Mayan, and he speaks English, and it was the best thing that ever happened to us. Because Miguel took us all around. He took us to Chichen Itza, took us to Ekbalam, took us to the cenotes, and we're riding around, and we're going into Valladolid, and he goes, can I stop at the Mercado? My wife needs me to pick up some beans. And this is just coming out of COVID, and the Mercado in Valladolid is one of those where you go out and you go in, you go out and you go in. And every time we had to go out and come back in, they're doing check your temperature in the forehead. And it's like, I just walked out of that. But no, every time. But what we saw and what we experienced in that day with Miguel showed us a different side of Mexico, other than the gringified,
the resort.
All the
resorts.
And the tourist attraction.
Right.
And we went from being resort rats to getting to see
Real.
Mexico in its beauty.
Real Mexico.
And
he took us to a real Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
He took us to a mercado. He showed us around real Mexican neighborhoods.
Yeah, it's kind of like whenever you go to Cancun and you go to the resorts and you realize that that's a strip of hotels and you can never leave that. And you'll think that's your impression. You go into Cancun proper, that is a Mexican town. And most people, a lot of gringos, they never make it there.
Yeah, there's a whole other world that happens behind the scenes. It's and most people don't look, it's like the Wizard of Oz, don't look behind the curtain, you know?
And the best part is when you do look behind the curtain, what you find is paradise. I mean, that was the part that just opened our eyes, and the warmth of the people. You know, we were like, wow. And what we didn't realize at that point, because all we had really experienced was Riviera Maya, was that warmth is nationwide.
Right.
You know, we have now done 15 cities that we have lived in Mexico, and that warmth is genuine, and the love that you give to the Mexican people, you get back tenfold. If you are honest and open up and go, you know what's occurring on that side of the border, it ain't down here. Just smile, talk to them, and you will be accepted. And just it's like,
it's amazing.
I understand why people don't believe when we tell them that, because it is so different, and it is so hard to believe that there's a place where that's part of the culture, is being warm and being kind and being inclusive and being
generous
and sharing your culture with someone. You know, it's hard to believe because of the juxtaposition between the two, and to say that there's this whole land where people are that way seems ridiculous. And it's not.
It doesn't seem real, but it is.
But I'm old enough. I remember life in the '60s, and that is what I equate it to down here. In the '60s, you had neighborhoods. If you were misbehaving down the street, Mrs. Smith would come out there and go, Mark, what do you think you're doing? And you knew, and you didn't talk back to Mrs. Smith because you knew Mrs. Smith was going to call my mom, and it was going to be boom. But everybody was part of a community. You know, it was family, it was friends, it was community, and everybody talked to one another.
And that's what you get here.
That's what you get here. And, you know, your neighbors look out for you. U.S., you don't even talk to your neighbors anymore.
We have stories where people are, you know, on the Malecon, and there's a family, because families use the Malecon and parks and those kind of things. It's still a very normal activity to spend the day at the park on Sunday or something. But they'll walk up and they'll be like, oh, whatever you're cooking smells so good. And the family will be like, oh, it's tamales. Come on. And they make you a plate. They have no idea who they are. They just are like, you complimented it. You can have some.
And they're not charging you for it.
No.
They're just giving it to you.
And they just want you to see that look on your face when you taste it. You know, they know it's good.
Exactly. Like there was a little old lady in a Oaxacan restaurant who stood over top of my friend who was eating her mole. And she wanted to wait and see his reaction and find out what he thought. And then when he told her it was fantastic, she beamed with pride and couldn't wait to share about how many ingredients were in her mole.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Go ahead.
Or the little old lady in Dia de Muertos when we were in Oaxaca, and there's this 4'6" little old lady, no teeth. And she wants to have a conversation with us. And because, you know, here we are, gringos, and what are we doing in the cemetery, and for Dia de Muertos. And we had a delightful conversation. And, you know, we were talking about how much we enjoy Mexico, and she was just beaming. Beaming with Mexican pride, going, gracias, you know, and you're going, wow.
It is what it is.
It's amazing.
I can't tell you how many people have actually, Mexican people have actually come up to us and said thank you for the kind of videos that both of us do.
Yes.
Because they're like, thank you for dispelling this awful myth that is, you know, that's out there. So
the shorter version of all of this. After he basically says we're moving to Mexico, it literally took us just a matter of months.
Now, when was that?
Oh gosh.
Time framing
2022.
2022, and it was going to be longer.
The announcement, we made the announcement at the block party was 2021, and in May of 2022, we had to put our dog down. We had him for 16 years, and when he was gone, suddenly we're looking at each other, and she hated her job, and it was like we had this 18-month plan to get to Mexico, and we went, why are we waiting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Exactly.
Two and a half months, we made the decision, and we were out of the house, gone.
Yeah.
Got rid of, sold everything.
It was really fast.
Yeah.
Typically, people need a little more time than we do to get rid of all of their worldly possessions, right? And we squeezed it into about 2.5 months. Wow. And it started with me going through the house going, all right, storage, take, get rid of.
So it's triage.
Yeah.
It was, and it was not an easy thing, and I had to pare what I wanted to take down multiple times.
Yeah.
The easiest way of doing it, get a dumpster.
It's
That's
true.
what we did. We got
Get
a
a
dumpster.
dumpster.
I know.
And then once you tossed that first box into the dumpster,
It gets easy.
It gets a lot
felt
easier.
pretty good.
Yeah.
And oh,
Yeah.
you know what? We haven't used anything in here in 15 years.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, think about how light you'll feel. No matter how you get rid of your stuff,
Oh, yeah.
or how you sell it, think about how light you would feel, because sometimes your things own you.
Well, what I find interesting is I remember finding y'all's channel, and when you were just kind of starting out, you were still up there in the States, you're figuring everything out, and we were like literally on similar paths at the same time, because it was 2022 whenever we made the decision to do it, and then we made the decision, and literally 4 months later we were here.
Yeah.
Everything gone and everything, and we moved down the beginning of October of 2022 to Ajijic. And this is kind of neat, because while time frame and everything, our journeys kind of parallel each other. We went very different paths. We moved to Ajijic, and and we settled down and all that sort of stuff. And you guys are kind of doing what I call a slow travel through Mexico.
Yeah.
And so
The
it's
Rockstar
been
tour.
yeah, I love it, the Rockstar tour. So it's really cool because y'all are experiencing all these different locations and all the things that they have to offer, and we're kind of getting embedded in a local community, and they're very different experiences, but it's really, really cool. You guys should really watch them. I mean, some of their adventures are just amazing. It's really, really cool.
Oh, thanks.
We just couldn't. We were doing a spreadsheet, and we couldn't pick a city.
Place, yeah.
If
And
you
we
don't
went-
know anything about it, how can you?
Right.
And so, we went, you know what? If we're going to do this, we've got to stay at least 1 to 3 months in each city to get a feel as to thumbs up, thumbs down. And 15 cities later, we have 5 left to go.
And we have seen just about every climate, every type of environment that Mexico has to offer, and it has been eye-opening.
Yeah.
Everything is unique.
Yeah.
The weather, the amount of vegetation, it's all unique.
Oh, yeah.
The people the indigenous in each location, they're all unique. So it's really cool.
It's amazing. Well, you guys need to hop over to Gringos R US, check out their channel, make
Please
sure
do.
that you like, subscribe. If you haven't subscried to our channel, subscribe to us.
It's free.
It's free, and make sure you subscribe to them. Follow their adventure. I mean, it's great. I know I'm going to be watching everything as it comes up. So, if you guys haven't already,
Go find
your truly remarkable life. Thanks. We'll see you later.
Every change